In the land of Abub there was a maiden called Egonna. Egonna was young and full of life. She was a beautiful young woman. Her hair was black and her skin was smooth. She was the village beauty. Egonna had many suitors. Suitors are men who come to seek a woman's hand in marriage. Many young men of Abub and beyond came to marry Egonna. But Egonna was not interested in any of them. She refused to marry any of them. She gave excuses. She would either say the man's head was too big or his ears were small. Egonna would always find something unpleasant to say about the man. Egonna's parents tried to talk to her. "This is not the way to go in life, Egonna, my daughter," her father told her one evening. "You have to look at a man's heart. Look at the woman's heart. How is their character? That is the most important thing to look out for when you want to marry, not how big his head or nose is," her father, Eka, concluded. Egonna laughed and rubbed her palms together. "Papa, don't worry about me. I am fine. I'll get married once I see the right man for me," she told her parents. "You mean that all these fine men coming to marry you, you don't like any of them?" her mother, Ugo, asked her. "No, Mama, don't worry at all," Egonna told her, laughing softly. "If you continue like this, you may end up with the wrong man," her mother said strongly. "I've said my mind." "I've heard you, Mama," Egonna said with a smile. Egonna liked the fruit called udara. The Yorubas call it agbalumo. It is also known as the African star apple. Now, it was the season of the udara fruit. Egonna did not joke with this fruit each season. She always made sure she got as much as possible and enjoyed them with her parents. However, this season, Egonna had not tasted any udara, and she was not happy about it. One early morning, she went to the popular udara tree close to her house to pick some of the fruits. This tree was along a footpath leading to the stream. It belonged to the people. On arrival, Egonna did not find a single udara on the ground. She was unhappy. She went home sad. As she did her morning chores, she sang a song in a sad tone. "Why do you sing in such a sad tone, Egonna, this early morning?" her mother asked. Egonna sighed and looked up at her mother. "Mama, do you know I didn't find a single udara on the ground this morning?" she asked with a sigh. "You went out this morning?" her mother asked. "Yes, I went out very early but didn't find even one udara. How's that possible? This is the season. Do the children of this village rise up that early?" Egonna asked, puzzled. "Maybe someone had gone there before you," her mother suggested. "You can only get udara when day has not broken yet. You know that." You're right, Mama," Egonna agreed. "But in the past, I used to get udara even when the sky had brightened," she said with a shrug. After her morning chores, Egonna sat in front of her room. She was thoughtful. "I can't believe that I have not tasted any udara this season. I used to be among the first people to enjoy the fruit," she thought unhappily. Then she snapped her fingers. "I'll go there during the day when people have gone to the farm and everywhere is quiet. The ones that usually fall during this time will be mine. Tomorrow, I'll be there," she decided. The next day after her morning chores, when people had gone to their farms, Egonna left the house to get some udara. She hummed a song to herself as she walked along the footpath. When she reached the foot of the udara tree, she didn't find a single fruit again. She was puzzled. She decided to sit on the root of the tree and wait. Just then, a full breeze came, and Egonna smiled with hope. "This breeze will certainly knock down some fruits." She waited and waited. No udara fell to the ground. In the village of Ebube, all public udara trees were never plucked by the people. It was the law. People could only pick fallen fruits. But this is the season of udara. Though it's still early season, the fruits on this tree are well ripened. "So what's the problem?" she asked in her mind. "What type of bad luck is this?" she asked aloud, looking around her. "Oh, udara, What's the problem with you? How did I wrong you that you don't want to release some of your fruits for me? She asked the tree. Don't worry, Egonna. I'll get you some fruits. She heard a deep male voice from the tree. Egonna was surprised, but not really scared. Who is there? Show yourself, she said, looking up in the tree. Don't you know it's forbidden for anyone to climb the Udara tree in Aboob? She asked sternly. A man jumped down from the tree swiftly. He was very quick in his movement, but Egonna didn't think too much about that. I am Odogwu, the man said. He was dressed in simple clothes and had bushy hair. What were you doing up the tree? Egonna asked him. I can get you Udara, as much as you like, Odogwu told her. Really? Egonna said. But the law forbids anyone to pluck these fruits. I don't want to break the law, she said. The man laughed. Don't worry, I'll not break the law. I'll only shake the branches. Any fruit that falls to the ground, they're yours. And mind you, I am not from Aboob. The law of your land doesn't bind me, Odogwu said lightly. Egonna shrugged. Okay, shake the tree for me. I'll pick them, she told him. Yes, as much as you want, Odogwu told her. Please, get them, Egonna told him excitedly. Good, but on one condition, Odogwu told her, smiling. What's the condition? Egonna asked. That you marry me, Odogwu said calmly. What? Egonna asked in surprise, then burst into laughter. Are you serious? Yes, I'm serious, Odogwu said. I'll get you Udara every morning around this time for as long as you want, he added. Oh, please get the Udara, she told him. Will you marry me? Odogwu asked her again. Yes, Egonna replied. Just get me the fruits, she said eagerly. I will get them now, Odogwu said. He turned, and in a twinkle of an eye, he climbed the huge Udara tree. Again, he was swift as he climbed the tree. Before Egonna knew it, fine Udara fruits were falling to the ground for her. Happily, she picked the fruits happily. When she was satisfied with the quantity she had gathered, she told Odogwu to stop shaking the branches. Odogwu climbed down from the tree, smiling. Are you happy now? He asked her. Very happy, Egonna told him. I'll be on my way now. Thank you very much, she told him. You're welcome, my dear. Remember, I will marry you, Odogwu told her. Egonna laughed merrily and went away. She had her fruits in the pouch of her wrapper. Her heart was filled with joy as she trekked home. Back at home, Egonna washed the fruits very well and divided the fruits in 2 parts. She kept one part for her parents, and the other part was for her to enjoy. She sat comfortably in front of her room and began to enjoy the fruits. The Udara was the sweet type called Nwanu, so as she sucked out the juice of the fruit, she nodded happily. The sweet taste was going directly to her back brain. When her parents came home in the evening, she gave them their own share of the fruits. Mama and Papa, enjoy some Udara, she told them, laughing softly. She placed the earthenware bowl of Udara on the bamboo table before them. Her parents were surprised. Where did you get these? Her mother asked. Egonna told them about Odogwu. Her parents looked at each other in wonder. Who is this Odogwu? Where does he come from? Her father, Eki asked. He's from the Elenle village, Egonna answered. He's generous. He didn't mind climbing the tree and shaking the branches for me, she added. I'm not really comfortable about this, Egonna. I hope you have not been talking to a ghostman? Eki asked. Egonna laughed at her father's suggestion. But she didn't tell them that the man gave her the condition of marrying her before getting the fruits for her. She didn't want to scare them. She knew what to do. Oh, Papa, you're very funny. Ghost man? Nothing like that, she said. For the next 7 days, Egonna went to the Udara tree around the time everywhere was quiet, and Odogwu got her Udara. She was happy. On the 7th day, Odogwu reminded her something important. I will be coming to marry you in 7 market weeks, he told her. Marry me, Egonna asked in surprise. "Have you forgotten that you agreed to marry me?" Odogwu asked her. "That was a joke," Egonna said, laughing. "I can't marry you," she added, shaking her head. "Why?" Odogwu asked with a frown. "Because I don't like you enough to marry you. I don't like how you look, your nose, your ears," Egonna told him. "But you like my udara," Odogwu told her. "You gave me these fruits out of your free will," she said to him. "Before I gave you udara, I gave you one condition, and that was to marry you." "You agreed to my condition," he maintained. "I agreed as a joke, please," Egonna said hurriedly and began to walk away. "Egonna!" Odogwu called her. "Farewell, Odogwu, and thank you for the udara," Egonna said loudly as she hurried away. Odogwu watched her with pain on his face. Then he frowned heavily. Suddenly, he snapped his fingers. "I know what to do," he murmured. When Egonna reached home, she enjoyed her fruits as usual. She did not tell her parents what Odogwu said. She had not even let them know that he gave her the condition of marrying her before giving her the udara the first day. "I will not go back to the udara tree again this season. I don't want to see Odogwu. I don't want him to disturb me about marrying him," she thought as she sucked juice out of the fruit. "I have had enough udara for this season," she thought, laughing softly. As usual, she gave her parents some of the fruits to enjoy in the evening. The next day, Odogwu waited for Egonna at the udara tree, but she didn't come. He waited for a long time, but didn't see her. He was sad. After 3 days of not seeing Egonna at the udara tree, he went home and did not return again. Egonna continued her life. She did house chores, she gossiped with her friends at the village square in the evenings, and she danced with other youths on nights of the full moon. She continued to reject suitors. However, one day, Egonna met a very handsome man who said his name was Ekwe. He told her he wanted to marry her. Egonna agreed immediately. He was the kind of man she wanted to marry. "Where are you from?" Egonna asked him. "I'm from Umwawa village," Ekwe told her. "Oh, I heard about Umwawa. It's just a village away from us," Egonna said. "You'll come and see my parents," she told him. "I'll definitely come with my people," Ekwe promised her. 2 days later, Ekwe came to Egonna's house and told her parents his intentions to marry their daughter. He came with 2 people. They were well dressed. They gave Egonna and his parents gifts of yam, beans called akidi, some clothes, and a gold necklace. Egonna was excited. Her parents were calm. They asked Ekwe some questions about his family and occupation. Ekwe told them he was a blacksmith and told them the name of his family. Egonna's parents asked her what she thought about Ekwe. She smiled and told them she had agreed to marry Ekwe. Her parents were shocked. Egonna finally agreed to marry someone? Her parents called her aside. "Are you sure you want to marry him?" Her father, Eki, asked. "Yes, Papa. I want to marry Ekwe," Egonna replied. "This is all too sudden. We will do some investigations," her mother said. Egonna frowned. "What investigations, Mama?" "Will you shut up?" her father told her. When they returned to the room where Ekwe was received, Egonna's parents told Ekwe to come back in 3 days. Ekwe was happy. Egonna's father went to the village of Umwawa. He asked about the family of Ekwe. Nobody knew the family he was talking about. Then he met one man who told him that the Ekwe family lived at the boundary of Umwawa. He told her the family was a quiet family that minded their business. Egonna's father went home satisfied. He told his wife and daughter his findings. They were happy, especially Egonna. A total of 7 market weeks later, Ekwe came with his family members to marry Egonna. It was a big occasion. They brought gifts and gave the dowry for Egonna. Egonna's friends were also with her. They all danced and made merry. Towards the end, Egonna's father blessed their union. Egonna's mother gave her advice to take good care of her home. Egonna tearfully waved goodbye to her parents and friends. she followed Ekwe and his family. Ekwe's family sang happily behind them as they went home on foot. It was a happy occasion. As they neared Ekwe's home, his family returned to their own homes. At last, it was only Ekwe and Egonna going home. Finally, they reached Ekwe's house. It was a large, modest house built with good clay blocks. Happily, Egonna prepared a meal for them to eat. Then they went to sleep because it was night already. The next morning, Egonna woke up and smiled at her husband, but she did not see Ekwe beside her. Who she saw was Odogwu. "Odogwu!" she yelled. "What are you doing here? Where's my husband, Ekwe?" she asked, looking around. "I am Ekwe. I use my powers to change into Ekwe," Odogwu told her, grinning. "What?" Egonna cried in shock. Then she hit Odogwu across the cheek with her heavy palm. "You hit me?" Odogwu growled in anger and changed into a half-skeleton. At this point, Egonna was really scared. She ran out of the house, and Odogwu pursued her. "Come back here, Egonna! You're my wife! The wife of a ghostman!" The half-man and half-skeleton yelled at her. "Never again!" Egonna told him and continued to run. Other half-men and half-skeletons came out from nowhere and pursued Egonna. She ran for her life. Odogwu nearly caught her. His nails scratched Egonna's back badly, but Egonna didn't stop. She continued to run for her life. When the ghost men had nearly caught up with her, a dragon came out in the sky. It spewed fire at the ghostmen to scare them off, but they were not afraid. They continued chasing Egonna. The dragon had to lift Egonna with its claws and ferry her away from the ghostmen. The dragon flew Egonna home and dropped her at her parents' house. Her father and mother were surprised to see a dragon drop their daughter home. They hugged her warmly as they found out that she had been in trouble. Egonna and her parents waved at the dragon as it flew away. She told them what happened at Odogwu's house. Her parents were shocked. "You see, one must be careful in life," her father said at last. "You should not have agreed to Odogwu's condition when you knew very well you weren't going to marry him. Now, see what you went through," he added. "I'm sorry, Papa, Mama," Egonna said with remorse. Her parents hugged her again and took her inside the house. Egonna became more responsible after the Odogwu experience. She later married a good young man from the village, and they lived happily ever after.